For 3 decades, Johnny Carson reigned as the undisputed monarch of late-night television, his disarming smile and effortless charisma captivating millions who welcomed him into their homes nightly. To America, he was the approachable Nebraskan who could charm anyone. But beneath this polished veneer lurked a different Carson, a man with a razor-sharp memory for slights, hidden insecurities, and the power to obliterate careers with a single decree. Johnny never forgot, and he never forgave, confided a Tonight Show producer who worked with him for over 15 years. Cross him, and you weren't just cut from that evening's lineup. You were exiled from his empire entirely. He was Nebraska-born but operated like a Sicilian. A close friend observed, noting Carson's quiet ruthlessness, never raising his voice, never causing public scenes, but erasing offenders from his world with surgical precision. As the gatekeeper of television's most influential platform, his bans rippled far beyond a missed booking, often derailing careers. Some bans stemmed from blatant misconduct, but others were triggered by infractions so subtle the offender didn't realize their error until the door slammed shut. Here, we unveil the 8 guests who committed Carson's unforgivable sins, banished forever from his stage, their careers and lives often shattered. While Joan Rivers' betrayal is the most infamous, it's merely the tip of a chilling iceberg, with some bans enduring nearly 2 decades, lifted only after Carson's death cleared the way for hosts unburdened by his grudges. First, we delve into the betrayal that wounded Carson deepest, a rift so profound it lingered beyond the grave. Joan Rivers. The protege's defection Joan Rivers wasn't just a recurring Tonight Show guest. She was Carson's chosen successor, handpicked as the first permanent guest host, a role that catapulted her to comedy's upper echelons. Johnny didn't just give her a stage. He gave her his seal of approval. A writer who worked with both explained, a rare endorsement for a woman in an era when female comedians fought for scraps. Their bond grew into a genuine friendship. Carson coached her material, dined with her privately, and lauded her talent publicly, becoming a father figure in an industry where, as a friend noted, he was the first powerful man who didn't demand favors for his support. By 1986, however, this bond shattered. Fox, a new network challenging the Big Three, offered Rivers a $10 million a year late-night show to air opposite Carson. A tempting lifeline as NBC signaled she'd never inherit The Tonight Show after his retirement. At 50, facing an industry harsh to aging women, Rivers saw it as survival. Terrified to confront Carson, her mentor and friend, she delayed breaking the news, hoping for the right moment. That moment never arrived. Fox leaked the deal to Variety, and Carson learned of her defection through a headline, a gut punch that revived childhood wounds of abandonment from a distant father and an approval-withholding mother. He went pale, didn't yell, just said, "She didn't even call me," and shut his office door. A staffer recalled, his quiet pain more chilling than rage. Carson's retaliation was absolute. Rivers' name was erased from The Tonight Show, clips purged, guest hosts forbidden to mention her, as if she'd never existed. "She's dead to me," he told producer Fred de Cordova, a verdict he enforced literally. Rivers' apologies, letters, calls, lavish gifts, were met with silence, packages returned unopened. Carson's influence blackballed her across NBC and much of television, drying up invitations and tanking her career. Losing his friendship hurt more than losing the show, a friend said. Rivers clawed back through grit, but the pain lingered. Her 2014 Tonight Show return, 22 years after Carson's 1992 retirement and 9 years after his 2005 death, bittersweet under Jimmy Fallon. She admitted to interviewers, tearfully, "He gave me my career, and I hurt him. That never heals." Wayne Newton. The backstage confrontation. Wayne Newton, a Las Vegas icon, endured Carson's monologue jabs through the 1970s, poking at his glitzy image and youthful looks. The humor, tamed by Tonight Show standards, grated on Newton, who meticulously curated his persona. In 1980, Carson escalated, weaving suggestive quips about Newton's sexuality into his monologue, a dangerous move in an era when such insinuations could ruin a performer, especially in conservative markets. Newton didn't send a lawyer or call. He stormed NBC's Burbank studios, using his fame to bypass security and barge into Carson's office unannounced. Johnny looked surprised, not alarmed, until he realized this wasn't a friendly visit, an assistant recalled. Newton, by his own account, warned, "Mock my music or hair, fine, but another sexuality joke, and I'll kick your ass." For Carson, who thrived on fearless comedy, this physical threat was a cardinal sin. Standing taller than Newton, he replied coolly, "Get out before I have you thrown out." No fists flew, but Newton was banned for life, Carson ordering his booking team to exclude him for the show's remaining 12 years. The ban crippled Newton's national reach. Without The Tonight Show, the era's premier publicity platform, his efforts to expand beyond Vegas faltered. It wasn't just one show, it was the show, an NBC executive noted. Newton, unrepentant in a 2007 interview, said, "I'd do it again. Some things are worth the cost." The incident underscored Carson's intolerance for physical intimidation, a line that, once crossed, meant permanent exile. Charles Grodin. The confrontational act that went too far Charles Grodin, with his sharp wit and sardonic style, seemed tailor-made for The Tonight Show. Debuting in the mid-1970s to promote The Heartbreak Kid, he ditched scripted anecdotes for a combative persona, challenging Carson's questions with mock hostility. Initially, Carson played along, his improv skills turning the tension into comedy gold, delighting audiences. Johnny saw what Grodin was doing, creating humor through discomfort, a writer recalled. Repeated bookings followed, but Grodin's act grew bolder, questioning Carson's skills and accusing him of apathy toward guests. By 1990, during a particularly biting appearance, Grodin mocked Carson's delivery and implied his warmth was fake, striking at Carson's private fear of emotional inauthenticity, shaped by formed marriages and guarded friendships. His smile tightened. "You knew he was done," a camera operator said. At commercial, Carson snapped, "We're done with that," and Grodin was never booked again. His publicists met with vague excuses like full schedules. Grodin later admitted, "I thought I was doing Kaufman," but Johnny didn't laugh. The ban revealed Carson's limits. He welcomed clever sparring, but not attacks on his crafted persona or show control, choosing from countless guests to avoid discomfort, even if staged. Shelley Winters. The drink-throwing debacle. Shelley Winters, a two-time Oscar winner for A Place in the Sun and The Diary of Anne Frank, was a Tonight Show staple, her Hollywood tales and vibrant personality lighting up the stage. By the 1970s, her volatility and drinking were infamous. She'd be charming in pre-interviews, then unrecognizable at taping, a coordinator recalled. In 1975, Winters arrived slurring and unsteady, alarming Carson, who tried steering the chaotic interview. When he made a light-hearted weight joke, previously fair game, Winters hurled her whiskey, ice and all, into his face. The audience gasped. Johnny was drenched, a stagehand said. Carson, livid but professional, called a break, stormed off, changed suits, and finished the show after Winters was escorted out. He banned her for life, telling staff, "She broke the unspoken contract of respect." The ban gutted Winters' visibility, already fading due to age and reputation. Losing Carson's platform severed her mainstream reach. In the 1990s, she admitted, "I was a mess then. Johnny was right to ban me." The incident highlighted Carson's zero tolerance for public humiliation, especially via physical acts, on his meticulously controlled set. Rich Little. The Impressionist Quiet Exile Impressionist Rich Little, a Tonight Show favorite with over 30 appearances in the 1960s and 1970s, vanished without fanfare. His spot-on celebrity mimics delighted viewers, but off-camera, his relentless in-character banter irritated Carson. Rich never turned it off, doing impressions in rehearsals, breaks, everywhere. A producer said. Carson, craving authenticity, reportedly grumbled, "Does he have his own voice?" The final straw was Carson's belief that little recycled material, a sin for a host obsessed with fresh content, his near-photographic memory catching repeated bits. Johnny hated laziness, a staffer noted. Without confrontation, Carson instructed, "We've seen enough of Rich," and bookings ceased, replaced by vague schedules full excuses. Little, baffled, said in 2010, "The calls just stopped." His career thrived elsewhere, but the ban underscored Carson's demand for originality, rejecting even reliable performers if they seemed stagnant. Truman Capote. The incoherent disaster Truman Capote, literary giant behind Breakfast at Tiffany's and In Cold Blood, was a talk show darling for his wit until addiction unraveled him. In 1975, he stumbled onto The Tonight Show, visibly impaired, slurring, and unfocused. Carson, who drank privately but demanded sobriety on air, was appalled. He saw it as disrespect to the audience, a producer said. Capote's rambling, explicit Hollywood story forced an early commercial break. Backstage, Carson quietly told him, "Truman, you're not well. We're cutting this short." The 4-minute segment, meant to be 10, ended abruptly, and Carson banned him, furious at Capote's handlers for allowing the appearance. The ban hurt Capote's flagging career, his music for Chameleon suffering without Tonight Show promotion. Carson's rule was clear. Intoxication on his stage insulted his viewers and his show's integrity, an unforgivable breach. Smothers Brothers. The political ambush Tom and Dick Smothers, whose CBS show was axed for its anti-Vietnam War satire, were 1960s Tonight Show regulars, but their activism clashed with Carson's neutral stance. Johnny jabbed both parties but kept the show an escape, a writer said. In 1970, Tom's anti-war speech during a segment blindsided Carson, whose cold eyes betrayed his anger despite a professional front. Backstage, he fumed, "Too much trouble," placing the brothers in Carson purgatory. No formal ban, but invitations vanished unless they avoided politics. "We were censored," Tom said in 2010. The soft blacklisting reflected Carson's refusal to let his platform become a political battleground, prioritizing entertainment over advocacy, unlike hosts like Dick Cavett. Morton Downey Jr. The shock hosts clash Morton Downey Jr.'s abrasive, confrontational talk show, marked by shouting and cigarette smoke, opposed Carson's refined style. Booked in 1988 amid staff debate, Downey ignored protocol, working the crowd and interrupting Carson, who grew visibly icy. When Downey criticized other hosts, implying Carson's restraint lacked courage, the host disengaged, ending the segment early with a frosty thank you. "That's not television. It's a circus," Carson told his producer, banning Downey quietly but permanently. The ban signaled Carson's rejection of the emerging shock TV wave, defending his vision of thoughtful discourse against Downey's chaos, a divide that foreshadowed late night's evolving, divisive future.